So here we have the advantages and disadvantages of a test for individual administration. So let's um, review first what is individual testing. As said by previous reporter, then it is a test of intelligence na administered by one individual at a time. The test in this case requires more verbal responses in order to examine the individual. The qualities of an individual are calculated on an individual level. This kind of test is conducted in places like hospitals, clinics, psychologists, or the places where a diagnosis is done mainly. So first, let us discuss the advantages of individual administration. First is more attention is paid. As the test is done on each individual one by one, the examinee is able to pay more attention towards the person. So, mas matututukan ng examinee yung individual. Due to proper attention, the results also come out to be great, and it is beneficial both sa individual at para rin sa examinee. Number two, or the second advantages, is the behavior can be observed easily. The examinee gets more time to know the individual as the individual is examined individually. More attention could be given to them, and it is possible din para sa examinee to know the behavior or malaman yung galaw ng individual. By knowing the behavior of an individual, posible na manipulate and get the results as expected ng examinee. Third is that the examinee can easily convince and encourage the person. The examinee in the case of individual testing can encourage and convince the individual. By this manner, the individual can be encouraged and the right path could be shown to him or her. So, makonsider din ito na advantages ng individual administration. Fourth is the results are accurate. The results that come out by use of the individual testing process are accurate compared sa group testing. Maraming places mas prefer nila yung individual testing kaysa sa group testing kasi nagbibigay ito ng mas accurate na resulta, and then results are coming from and examined from depth. So fifth, the results and the scores are not dependent. The results of the individual testing are not dependent on any factors, and this is not only delivers result in a quick manner, but it also helps in getting accurate, which is useful para sa future. Also, the results are made proper scrutiny by the examinee, so those are not dependent on any external factor. Sixth advantage is the speed is one additional factor. As a result are not dependent on any external factors. Pagkatapos ng examine, the examiners gives the result on the spot, which is an added advantage. The person does not need to wait for the required result, so the result is given is an added factor compared mo sa group test. The efficiency is way better than any other methods as the seventh disadvantages. As the tests are conducted on an individual level, yung efficiency is ought to be great because yung lahat ng attention ay nabibigay sa isang individual. This is not possible in case of the group test, so it is also one of the advantages of individual administration. Eighth is more time to understand the person. As the individual is in direct contact with the examinee gets more time to know the person. So, habang yung individual is malapit or direct contact sa examinee, mas makikilala niya pa yung person. And to be very accurate, the examinee gets to know the individual on a personal level. So, kaya makonsider ito na isa sa advantages ng individual administration. So, the disadvantages of a test for individual administration, here we have 4 disadvantages. And then, if individual testing has some advantages, syempre, meron din namang mga disadvantages. Nowadays, many places prefer group testing, but it highly depends sa type ng lugar. For example, if it is a clinic, it is obvious to have individual testing. Still, some of the disadvantages are follows. First is, it is time-consuming. The individual testing is time-consuming. It is because Each and every individual has to be taken account into during the test, and one individual can take as much time as needed to. So the process is quite lengthy and time consuming. So yun nga, mag-consume siya ng mahabang oras. Second is trained and experienced examiner is required. For such individual test, the experienced and trained examiners are required. So kumbaga hindi naman pwede na na sino-sino lang na staff or examiners ang dapat mag-handle ng individual sa isang test. Dapat talaga yung mga qualified and experienced staff yung magha-handle. Yun nga, at the same time, it is difficult to have the staff which is equally qualified and has that experience which is required for conducting the test. So third is it costs more than other procedures. As the test is conducted at an individual level, for every individual stationary is required, it is written test is not conducted, then it might be verbal. Still, for verbal test, it also lots of energy goes, especially when done on an individual level. Questioning every individual and knowing the problems of every individual is a big task para sa examinee. So, it forms one of the disadvantages ng individual administration. The last disadvantages is the lots of money and investment is required. So, kailangan talaga ng medyo malaking capital and investment as an individual to be examined kasi more staff is needed, and for the same, the investment also needs to be more with the company. The cycle is providing salaries at the same time providing service sa mga individual needs to flow in an undeterred manner. So for that to take place, the company needs proper funds and capital. However, it becomes an expensive process to take place. So that's it for the advantages and disadvantages of individual administration. Thank you.